Many people think lowering their A1C means trying harder. Harder workouts, more sweating, more cardio, more time in the gym. But what if the one thing that actually helps lower your blood sugar the most is the one almost nobody takes seriously? And what if the reason your numbers aren't changing isn't because you need to work harder, but because you're trying to solve the wrong problem? If you've been working hard, trying to lose weight, trying to lower your A1C, but you feel like your efforts aren't really changing your numbers, this video is for you. I'm Jared Linder. A few years ago, I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes myself. Through practical lifestyle changes, I was able to reverse it, and now I help others lower their A1C, lose weight, and reduce medications using the same principles. And I've learned something important coaching people through this. Almost every person I work with says the same thing. I'm trying hard, but my numbers still aren't where I want them. If that sounds familiar, keep watching, because the issue usually isn't effort, it's direction. The problem with simple things is this. They're easy to do, and they're easy not to do. So today I'm going to show you why most workouts miss the real issue when it comes to blood sugar and what actually improves insulin sensitivity, and the one type of movement most people overlook, even though it may be one of the most powerful habits you can build. Quick note before we dive in. I put together a free guide called 6 Steps to Reverse Diabetes Naturally. It walks through the same foundational steps I used in my own life and that we use with our clients to improve metabolism and lower blood sugar. And you can grab it for free in the description below. Now let's get into it. But before I show you the movement most people overlook, I want to make sure you understand why harder workouts don't fix the real problem. Have you ever worked out really hard and your blood sugar barely changed? Or maybe it got worse? I see that all the time. Someone starts going to the gym 4 or 5 days a week. They're doing spin classes. They're doing HIIT workouts. They're pushing themselves hard. They leave the gym exhausted. But then they check their fasting glucose, or they go back for their next A1C test, and the numbers haven't moved, or they got worse. It's discouraging, especially when you feel like you're doing everything right and the numbers won't budge. The good news is there's a simple reason. Blood sugar isn't controlled by one hard workout. It improves when your body uses glucose consistently and avoids spikes throughout the day, which leads to another thing a lot of people miss. And once you understand this exercise that I'll show you in a minute, it's going to make a lot more sense. So where does glucose actually go after you eat? Most people think blood sugar is only about insulin, but one of the biggest places glucose goes after a meal is actually your muscles. Your muscles are one of the main places your body stores and uses glucose, but they only take glucose when they're being used. So if you sit most of the day, those muscles aren't asking for much energy, so that glucose stays circulating in the bloodstream longer than it should. When your muscles contract, they start pulling that glucose in and using it for fuel. That's one reason movement matters so much for blood sugar control. But here's where people misunderstand exercise. They think movement only counts during a workout, and that leads to the next issue. And this one mistake is one that keeps a lot of people stuck, even when they're exercising regularly. The workouts they start are often just too intense to sustain. They require too much time, too much recovery, too much energy. They leave people exhausted and hungry. They go all in for 2 weeks, then life happens. Work gets busy, motivation drops, energy dips. Cravings explode, and the workouts stop. Metabolism doesn't change because of occasional effort. It changes because of consistent signals, consistent movement, consistent muscle activity. Consistency beats intensity almost every time, which brings us to the movement most people overlook. And when you hear what it is, you might actually be surprised by how simple it is. So, what type of movement actually checks all the boxes we listed? It needs to use large muscle groups, improve insulin sensitivity, be low stress on the body, and be repeatable every day. It also has to fit into real life, not just gym time, not just perfect routines, real life. When it's hot, when it's cold, when it's raining, when you're busy, even when you're bored. Because if something only works when everything is perfect, it's not going to last. So here it is. That movement is walking. Walking activates some of the largest muscle groups in your body. It helps your muscles use glucose, it improves insulin sensitivity, and it lowers the amount of insulin your body needs after a meal. But one of the biggest reasons walking works is because it's so simple. You can do it almost anywhere. Walking around the block, walking around your house, walking in place while you're watching TV. You can walk in the morning, after meals, on a break at work. And because it's so simple, it's something you can repeat every single day. That consistency is what makes it so powerful. Knowing that walking helps is one thing. Using it is another. Here are 3 simple ways to make it work. First, connect walking to something you already do. Maybe walk after breakfast, after lunch, after dinner. When you take a short walk after meals, it helps your muscles use the glucose from that meal and can help reduce the spike that follows. And by tying it to something that you already do, it makes it easier to build the habit. Next, focus on consistency before intensity. 10 minutes counts. A walk around the block counts. Don't let perfection stop repetition. And finally, find ways to build walking into your daily life. Park a little further away. Take the stairs. Look for little opportunities to move more throughout the day. These small signals, repeated day after day, can dramatically improve insulin sensitivity. Now, if you take one thing from this video, remember this: the best exercise for lowering blood sugar isn't always the hardest one. It's often the one you can do consistently. Many people are looking for breakthroughs in intensity, but metabolism changes because of repetition. Walking may not look impressive, but when done consistently, it's one of the most powerful habits for improving blood sugar. And sometimes the habit that changes your health is simply the one you decide to take seriously. Now, if you want a clear starting point, download my free guide, 6 Steps to Reverse Diabetes Naturally. It's linked in the description below. It walks through the same foundational steps we use to help people lower their A1C and improve their metabolism. If this video helped you, please subscribe, like, and share it with someone trying to lower their blood sugar. And watch this next video, 5 tricks to lower hemoglobin A1C fast. It explains another habit that can dramatically improve insulin sensitivity with minimal effort. Thanks for watching. I'll see you there.